Last time you guys absolutely killed it when I broke down what happened round by round in a drag race. So today we're gonna be doing that again. Stay tuned. Before we jump into this race, I just wanted to quick remind you guys that there is a lot going on this channel right now. Most notably would be the free entry giveaway to the SFG Million. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. We are giving away a free entry into the SFG Million $1.1 million drag race, which is happening July 4th, US 131 Motorsports Park in Martin, Michigan. I will leave a link to the video talking all about that giveaway down in the description below. You guys do not want to miss that opportunity. Go and check it out. Additionally, we're also giving away a couple of those Methanol We're On It t-shirts. Link to that video in the description as well. That one is as simple as sharing a Facebook post if you're interested in getting one of those shirts. 2 videos down in the description that you should check out right after this video. Alright, let's jump in the race car. This time we're going to be doing some quarter-mile drag racing at my home track, Thunder Valley Drag Race.
Round 1.
This was the last points race of the season, the one where we showed up way late just in time to get onto the ladder. So to be honest, I felt a bit rushed and unprepared for round 1 of eliminations. Rolling into the water box, I was thinking about how the race was going to unfold on the racetrack. I noticed my opponent was dialed in at an 890 with a big block, so I knew this was going to be one of those weird races where he leaves first, then I blow by him while he's on the throttle stop, and then he chases me to the finish. Lucky for me, my opponent had some starting line issues, and for some reason his car never left hard. It just kind of rolled away. This was extremely fortunate for me because mentally I wasn't ready for the tree and I ended up missing it bad, you guys. I was sleeping with a 42 bulb, but I was able to turn on the wind light due to the trouble in the other lane.
Round 2.
Moving on to round 2, I knew I needed to step up my game a little bit. I was racing against the number 3 in points at the time. This is someone who was still in the points chase with my old man. I was confident that my car would be close to the dial since I had just been down this same lane and not a lot of time had passed and the weather really didn't change much at all. I'll spare you the time on this one, but another intense staging duel went down on the starting line. I timed this one to be right under 2 minutes, so not quite as long as the last one, but still, it feels like forever in the moment. Fortunately, I was able to turn a little advantage off of the starting line with an 010 bulb because when we got down to the finish line, things did not look good. He drove right around me on the big end and I was just trying to push him out there as far as I could. As I mentioned before, I was really confident in my dial on this pass, so right as he crossed the finish line, I stomped on the brake pedal and the light came on. I ended up being above and my opponent was 13th out under the dial to break out. That was a big round against a tough opponent in the heat of a points chase.
Round 3.
In third round, I lost lane choice and was put over into the other lane. I didn't have any data from this lane, so I decided to dial up one number due to that uncertainty. felt good on the tree. It was a 005 bulb, and that ended up being a big advantage in this race. At the finish line, I looked over a couple times and I saw that I had all kinds of room, so I lifted at about the mile-per-hour cones. Luckily, I didn't break out. The car was on a fast pass though, you guys, and I ended up running right on my number with a 0, even after scrubbing about 6 miles per hour. Nonetheless, 5-pack win light on.
Round 4.
Down to 3 cars, and your boy ended up with the bye. After watching the other pair race before me, I had a good idea that I would be back in the left lane for the final, so I decided to hop back over there for my bye run. The car repeated itself almost exactly as what it would have run the round before, and another 010 bulb gave me that good confidence headed into the final. One thing that I always do, even during bye runs, is I always find the finish line and I watch it closely as I pass it. At some tracks there isn't any good painted stripe or signage or anything at the finish line, and at this track it's especially hard to find the finish line once the sunlight starts to go away. I always look for the cone or the foam block in between the lanes at the finish line, since that's always the direction I'm going to be looking while judging my opponent. It's just something that I practice on every pass so that that closing rate of my car versus the finish line gets ingrained into my brain as much as possible, so that even if I'm not looking at the cone, I still have a really good idea of where I am relative to it while driving the stripe.
Final round.
Final round. I'm paired with another big black 890 car, similar to the first round. Only difference is that I knew this one had been on his game all day long. I dialed the car down another number further honest for a couple reasons on this race. First, the sun was going down and it was starting to get cooler out. My prediction software was saying that the car was going to pick up a little bit, so that was one reason. The other reason was that I knew my opponent was at least 10 mile an hour faster than me, even with the throttle stop. I knew that the closing rate for our 2 cars was probably going to look a little abnormal and fast on the racetrack, so I felt that dialing it honest was an all-around best move on this round. I had my best light of the day, a 004 bulb, which was a nice advantage in this race. I drove around him while he was on the throttle stop, and then he started chasing hard. I ended up with a little room at the finish line. I whopped the throttle a few times, but I was still hogging up the stripe, an 023 stripe. Those couple whops were enough though. I ended up being 2 above my dial for the W. Alright guys, as you can tell, sometimes it just takes that one round, that one lucky round to get that momentum going, to get you into that groove on the tree, and ultimately into the winner's circle. As always, drop me a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what you like or dislike about this channel. I'd love to get your guys' feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Until then, thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, all the things. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.